12th of November 2012. Dear Diary. As you know at this stage, Thomas is treating me like crap. I thought I could live with him being the way that he is, but after today, I just can't face it anymore. He stumbled in, drunk again. He burst into the sitting room and gave me one horrendous punch over my eye. Thomas, you entered my life at a stage when it was already dark. I did not need someone like you in my life. You took my life and turned it into one not worth living. I should probably tell you how it all came to this. When I was young, I lived with my mum and dad in a nice housing estate. But my dad only married my mum because he got her pregnant when she was 17. He never really loved her, from what I can tell. According to Mum, after I was born, they started fighting, and he finally left when I was 3 years old. Mum wasn't heartbroken and was glad that he had left her after all the years that he caused her pain and anger. I had to go through most of my life moving through public housing schemes and spent most of my childhood playing in the rundown playgrounds of a town that I called home. Once I moved to secondary school, I realised how messed up society really is. My mum is not wealthy. She raised me on the money that she received from social welfare and child benefit. She's gone through several part-time jobs in shops and cafes, but could never hold any of them down. Therefore, I couldn't afford to buy fancy designer clothes or top brand shoes. Our secondary school didn't have a uniform, so everybody was basically showing off their wealth by the clothes that they wore to school every day. I arrived on my first day wearing an old hoodie, worn jeans and dirty shoes. People were staring at me, laughing and smiling as they walked past. That's one thing I hate about society. You get judged on absolutely everything that you do. If you walk in with your hair in a mess, you get judged. If you have a scar on your wrist, you get judged. If you like a certain type of music, you get judged. Just because I didn't have designer clothes, I got laughed at. For the next 2 months of school, I suffered constant bullying from those popular kids who think they're the best thing that God ever created. If they were so perfect, they wouldn't have been beaten in every single exam by me. Anger had been building up inside me for quite a while. Every aspect of my life was adding to the anger within me. I hated home life, I hated school. I hated the way society treats people, and I'd had enough. Just when I thought life couldn't get much worse, it did. Mum introduced me to her new boyfriend Thomas last September. We first met when I came home from school, one dry cold evening. I didn't know what to think of him at first, but very quickly my judge of character set in. Over the next 2 months I grew to hate Thomas. He treated me very badly and always used to arrive in home drunk at all hours of the night. The main reason I hated him was what he did to my mum. I noticed little things at the start. Her limping a small bit, small bruises on her arms. But the final straw that got rid of any remaining grains of respect was when I walked in one day and I saw her nose and mouth bleeding heavily. The following night, after I took care of my mum, I did my homework, ate my burnt dinner, and plonked myself down on the couch. Thomas stumbled in the door, shouted at me, and gave me one horrendous punch. Thomas, this was the last straw. I went blind with rage and kicked him straight in the face. As he lay there unconscious on the sitting room floor, I ran to my room, reached for my diary, and began to write. I threw the notebook on the floor, went blind with anger and lashed out in everything in my room. I cried, but what happened next changed my life forever.